Hello, and welcome to Royal Reviewer live chat. I just had a few slight technical trouble getting on, but I'm here now, and hopefully you can all see me and hear me. And I think I found the correct chat window to be able to look at all your questions. So as always, the format is exactly the same. If you've got a question for me about the British royal family, then leave it in the chat section or the chat window that you can see. It might be very different to the chat window that I can see. So if you have a question, please put it to me and I will endeavour to answer your questions as always, as best I can. We've had a very, very busy week again this week with the royal family. A lot's been going on, so we have quite a bit to talk about. Okay, so I think I have the correct window back up. So I can see Living the Good Life. Hello, Living the Good Life. Living the Good Life says, so they just sent me an email to check in about the live stream. I can ignore it now. Yes, I'm finally back up and sorted. I will get used to this setup eventually. Happy to see you online. Thank you. Okay, Living the Good Life says, what do you think about the upcoming BBC Two drama Charles III? To be quite honest, I didn't know that they were making a upcoming BBC documentary about Charles III. Well, actually, no, maybe I did. Is that the one where it's looking at what would happen when Prince Charles eventually ascends to the throne? And it's a bit of a mockumentary, as I would call it. So it's not obviously based on the truth because that hasn't happened yet, but it's sort of speculation on what if. And I did see something similar to that about the Cambridges and the modern royal family not so long ago. And to be honest, I didn't really enjoy it. I thought that one was, it was just so not true and so spoof-like that I just didn't enjoy it. So I probably will watch this new one when it's out, but whether I like it or not remains to be seen. Loretta says, hello from California. Hello, nice to see you again. And I'm really glad that my regulars keep making it back to the chat. Living the Good Life says, yes, it's a future cast. I'm not too keen on future casts. It's just based on sheer speculation, so I'm not really that keen on it. Okay, now, for those of you who were wondering about The Crown, the new Netflix TV series, last week I said that I wasn't going to watch it until it was out on DVD. However, one of my friends, I'm going to go and watch it with them because they have a Netflix account. So I will watch an episode this week and I will let you know about what I think about the first episode in next week's chat. Hello, Chelsea. Chelsea's just said hello. Loretta says, if the BBC Two is involved, should we assume Prince will be King Charles III? Nothing's been confirmed on what name he will take when he is monarch. A lot of people think Charles III because his name is Charles, and of course after Charles II comes Charles III. I, however, have my doubts. I think he will take George and become George VII, but only time will, well, we will know in time when that happens. Okay, Sally says, hi, Elliot. Hi, Sally. And Living the Good Life says, I saw that the Queen visited Waitrose's supermarket. There's a photo of the Queen in the self-checkout aisle. She had a funny expression on her face. Yes, that was in Poundbury. And I did include that in one of my videos. It was the one about Queen Mother Square, where the Queen was unveiling a new statue of her late mother and Charles's grandmother, the Queen Mother. And it's obviously in Charles's Poundbury development, which is an estate that he's created from scratch, and it was in the middle of nowhere. And they now have a kind of smaller scale replica of Buckingham Palace. And the Duchess of Cornwall pulled a pint behind the bar. So if you want to watch that video, just go back a couple of weeks and you will find that one there with all the coverage. Okay, Nancy says, I've been watching the Netflix series. It puts a very human face on the royal family. It's well acted. So I've heard. I've heard it is really good. I mean, obviously, it won't be completely accurate, But I think it's as close as we can get, and if we think of it as entertainment value, then hopefully we can all enjoy it. Okay, Loretta says, I'm in America. Isn't the BBC and the Palace in bed together, so to speak? Not completely. I mean, a lot of the exclusivity that the BBC had with the royal family has now gone. The Queen's Christmas message was always broadcast on the BBC, and it's now shared on a rota basis between other channels. Again, lots of the other coverage for royal events is shared. So the BBC doesn't have the monopoly on the royal family like it used to. Even though you still think it does, it doesn't. Okay, Chelsea says, did you read the story I shared? Chelsea offered to share with us all a story that she'd found on the internet about Camilla, and she posted me the link after last week's chat. So thank you, Chelsea, for that. And it was a very long story, so I've read a section of it, and I did think it's a fan fiction, so of course it's not completely true, but it did seem to be, you know, how you would imagine Charles and Camilla to be and interact with each other. So it's a very good read. I don't know who wrote it, but if you're looking for some light entertainment, then I'm sure Chelsea could share the link with you all. It was quite a good story from what I read. Caroline says, hi, it's me, Caroline. Hi, Caroline. Nice to see that you made it to the chat. And asking my opinion of Meghan Markle. I think your name is Chrono545 says, what's my opinion of Meghan Markle? Of course, I'm going to wind back a little bit to last week's chat, and we were talking about the new relationship, and at that point in time, nothing had been confirmed. There was no press release, there was no confirmation from her side. Everyone was keeping silent. And then after the video, the next day, I think it might have been on the Sunday or maybe even the Monday, Harry released an official statement, which was a very unusual step because the royals don't normally release these official statements when it comes to relationships. But in this case, he did, and it was a very long press release urging everyone to be respectful. I know there'd been quite a lot of online racism towards Meghan. A lot of people not being very nice about her background and her previous work that she'd done in the media. And he urged the press and the public to be respectful. So, of course, that confirmed the relationship, and it confirmed that they had been dating for 2 months. Now, the press speculation was that they'd been dating for 6 months, which is when the press think that he met her 6 months ago when he was doing the Invictus Games in Toronto, which makes sense. However, Harry has confirmed 2 months. So what we can assume from that is that they might have met in Toronto, but were only officially boyfriend-girlfriend for the past 2 months. So I can see that there's truth in what the press say, and obviously what Harry says, what he's confirmed. So that obviously confirmed all the stories, and I like to think that I handled the reporting of, or the commenting of, the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry relationship respectfully. I tried not to publish anything that was untrue. Of course, there was lots of stories and rumours swirling around that I didn't comment on or publish because I didn't think there was enough proof to actually warrant a story. What I did cover, I thought was true, which is why I covered it, and I will only ever cover things that I think are true. So anyway, yes, Meghan Markle, I think she's a good person. I think she does a lot of good work, good charity work, which she does off her own back. So she's got her career, and of course she's a career girl. She's had a modelling career, TV career. She puts herself out on social media, promoting things. But she does do a lot of good work off her own back. And that shows that she does have a good heart, because she's not going to gain anything from that work. So she gives her time to good causes. And that's probably what Harry may have been attracted to, seeing as she's not his typical blonde bohemian type that he goes for. So I think he thinks she has a good heart, and I think we all owe it to her to give her a chance. What do you think? Do you think she's a good person? Let me know. But now, if you watch one of my previous videos, a couple of videos back, Meghan is actually in London. She was spotted in London outside the gates of Kensington Palace and shopping in Kensington High Street. And she had these big bulging bags of food. And obviously, if she's staying at the palace and bringing food in there, it shows that they don't have a chef and that they cook for themselves. And I think she may have been preparing a romantic meal for two. So of course that's unconfirmed, but it makes sense. It makes sense that if she's staying at the palace and she's doing food shopping, that she might be in control of the kitchen. So perhaps last night or the night before, or maybe even tonight, Prince Harry is enjoying one of Meghan's home-cooked meals. What do you think about Meghan Markle? Let me know. Okay, Rayleigh says, she's from McKinney in Texas. Has a scandal ever broken about Prince Philip having an affair? I think there was rumours years ago about when he used to go to a club that he used to go without the Queen, but I think that was just him enjoying downtime and alone time. And of course, in relationships, you always need a little bit of time to yourself. And I think that's what he was doing, going out with friends when he was younger. But I don't think he's ever had an affair. I think he's always been faithful to the Queen, and of course their relationship has been enduring and it's lasted all these years. So of course we can't comment on that because nothing has ever come to light about it. Okay, Living the Good Life says, do you know why the wives of royal princes, except the Princess of Wales and Princess Michael, are known as duchesses and countesses instead of, for example, Princess Edward, Countess of Wessex? I think it's, well, actually, they do have that title. So, for example, Sophie would be the Princess Edward. However, because Edward was given the title, the Earl of Wessex, she takes on the Countess of Wessex. And it's the same with all the others. Now, Princess Michael of Kent, Prince Michael doesn't have a ducal title or an earl title or any other title. So the only title she could take was Princess Michael. The Princess of Wales, obviously Prince Charles's highest title was the Prince of Wales. So she became the Princess of Wales. Diana was never a princess in her own right, so she could never be called officially Princess Diana. I know it's a name that became associated with her, but it was never an official title. You could have also called Princess Diana the Princess Charles, or the Duchess of Cornwall, which of course is the title that Camilla took. So I think it's just also for distinction. It makes more sense if you can call a royal spouse a different title to do so rather than call them by their husband's name, as in the Princess Michael of Kent, which could be confusing for some people, because a lot of people would probably wonder, well, why is she called Princess Michael? How can a princess be called Michael? But that is why. It's because Prince Michael didn't have another title that she could be known as. Okay, Living the Good Life says, also I've read the Queen does not favour deep curtsies or bows, but I've seen members of the royal family curtsying deep in photos. I don't think she sees the necessity for deep curtsies. Just a simple mark of deference to her is enough. A shallow bow, a shallow curtsy is enough to show her some respect. If the members of the family wish to do it, it's at their choice. It's obviously showing that they have a really deep respect for the head of their family, for the matriarch. So that probably explains that. I think it's all up to personal choice. The public don't have to curtsy or bow at all. It's just if you want to. It's protocol, but you don't have to do it. And of course, we have seen breaches of protocol, particularly, I mean, probably the most high profile one was Michelle Obama, who actually gave the Queen a hug in Buckingham Palace when she visited. So, and the Queen took that really well and actually seemed to enjoy it. So I really don't think she minds. Okay, Loretta says, although Prince Harry is an adult, is it safe to say the Queen has given her approval? I don't think the Queen normally meets girlfriends unless, or boyfriends of members of the family, unless they are about to become a member of the family. So we saw Princess Eugenie heading off to Balmoral earlier in the summer to take her potential future husband, although nothing's been announced yet, to see the Queen. And that is a really good indicator that an engagement is on the way. Even if, in private, the engagement may have already happened, but certainly in public, it's not official yet. But he would not have gone to Balmoral to stay in the castle unless the relationship was serious. So unless Harry is really serious about the relationship, it's doubtful that the Queen will meet Meghan. Although if things are moving quickly, that could happen. But as Meghan is staying in Kensington Palace, the likelihood is that she will meet Catherine and William, unless she already hasn't, because of course there was rumour that she'd stayed at Kensington previously. But obviously this time is the only time that we have photographic proof. Okay, Loretta says, can the Queen give Prince Michael a title or a dukedom? Yes, she can, but no, she hasn't. And because it's been so long that she hasn't, it's very doubtful that she will. But technically, she could if she wanted to. But we don't know if privately he may have been offered and he may have refused. We don't know. Not everybody wants a royal title if it's offered. Look at Princess Anne with her children. She was offered titles, she refused. So it's all down to personal choice and what you want from your life. But no, she hasn't, and it's very doubtful that she will. Okay, so for those of you who've just joined the chat, the format is, well, there isn't really a format. You just ask whatever questions you want to ask me about the British royal family in the chat box that you can see. You can comment on any of my previous videos, anything you'd like to see, any suggestions for the channel, basically, or even just say hi. It doesn't matter, just say hi. I like to know that you're there, as always. Okay, I just want to ask, I made a video about James Middleton this week. I wonder if you've seen it and what you think about that video. It was about him dating TV celebrity Donna Eyre, which he's been dating for many years. They had a slightly on-off relationship earlier this year, and about his business called Boomph, which is a marshmallow business where he prints people's pictures or companies' logos, it could be corporate or private, onto a marshmallow base, and you can buy it for fun or corporate events. And of course, he's trying to be successful like his father and trying to stand out on his own rather than being the shadow of his two elder sisters. So let me know what you thought about James Middleton. And we also saw Princess Beatrice stepping out with a mystery man in New York at Heidi Klum's Halloween bash. So it was another Halloween outfit for Princess Beatrice. This time it was slightly better than the other one, and she did wear a matching costume to this new mystery man. We don't know who he is, but she was seen with a new mystery man. Okay, Nancy says, yes, I saw the James Middleton video, an odd line of work. He's had lots of previous businesses, but this is his current and probably most successful one, even though it was in the red last year. It's expected to make money this year. But yes, printing, I mean, who'd have thought printing pictures on marshmallows would have been big business? But I think it has legs. I think it needs a chance to grow, and once it has, it might do quite well. Of course, he's still using the same premises that his parents use, and the business is located really close to the Middleton family home. So he's not started it completely from scratch. Of course, he's had some help from mum and dad, but any success is good success. Okay, Living the Good Life says, I may be completely wrong, but I don't think that a marshmallow printing business is going to be long lasting. I wish him well in his personal and professional life. Yes, you could be right. It could be a faddy thing, or it could have legs to grow and diversify. We don't know. So we're going to have to just watch this space and see what happens to the business. I'd imagine if he has another year like last year, where it was in the red by £800,000, it probably won't last much longer, but he does suggest it will turn a profit. Hopefully it will, and he will be successful. Okay, Loretta says, what more would you like to see from your viewers as it relates to the live chats? To be quite honest, I just like having the questions and having the open dialogue that we have, and all the suggestions, and a lot of the time some of the chats does give me some ideas. I don't always get to do the ideas because so much happens in the life of the British royal family, and I always feel like I'm slightly behind with the videos because there's so much that needs doing, and I actually keep a list on my phone of videos that I'd like to make, and my list is just growing longer and longer and longer and longer each week. Again, there's a lot upcoming. Even tomorrow there's the Remembrance service. There was the event tonight that the Queen and lots of members of the royal family attended, so I still have lots and lots and lots of videos to make, and it keeps me really busy. Okay, Living the Good Life says, is there any news on Prince Charles's trip abroad? That was the royal visit Oman, and I haven't covered any of that tour. Not because I don't want to, not because I didn't find it interesting. I followed it personally, but I didn't have time to follow another royal tour with all of the Remembrance videos to make. So what I might do when I have a spare moment is go back and choose the best pieces from that tour, piece them all together, and do a special on the royal visit Oman. Like I say, sometimes you have to omit things in favour of other things, and hopefully I did the right thing and I've covered things that people are interested in and things that are important, like remembering the war dead. So I hope I made the right choice, but you do have to sometimes choose what to cover and what not to cover. Okay, Loretta says, do I plan to have live guests? If you mean somebody actually with me, to be honest, I don't know who I could have. I mean, I'd love to be able to one week ask Prince Harry to wander into my video shot and, you know, speak to you all, but I don't think that's going to happen. So failing that, I don't really know who I could actually have as a guest. Who would you like to see as a royal reviewer guest? I mean, I could put it out there, you know, if you're a member of the royal family, or if you're interested in the royal family and you've got something to contribute to my videos, then get in touch with me and I will gladly do or host a live guest. Okay, Loretta says, will any of my family be willing to share their royal stories over the decades? Sadly, some of the members of my family who are really into the royal family have passed away. So unless I'm going to hold a live seance, I don't really think that's going to happen. So I think I need to just carry on the royal banner for those members of my family who can no longer be there. And often when I'm watching royal events or covering them, I do think about how members of my family would have enjoyed this particular aspect of what's happening in the royal family. So it does make me be reflective of my own family when I am covering royal events. Okay, do I have any other questions? Please let me know. Okay, I also made some videos this week about Harry, particularly Prince Harry. Prince William has contributed to. Prince William had a very busy day of engagements relating to the Remembrance events that are taking place this week. But Prince Harry in particular has actually led the nation. So he's taken a very prominent role within the royal family, leading Remembrance Day services. So he's had an incredibly busy week, especially with all the Meghan Markle stories that have been going on. So he emerged for the first time since all of that. and he's done a remarkable job leading the nation in the Remembrance. I mean, all the royal family have been doing bits and bobs, but Prince Harry in particular, which is why if you look back on last week's video, most of it is about Prince Harry. As I said, Prince William did have a very busy day, and he planted some poppies with children, which was really good to see. But Prince Harry has really worked hard this week, so I think everyone should feel really proud of Prince Harry. Okay, Loretta says you can share their stories, even start segments on live chat. Yes, I could. I suppose I could. I mean, I can tell all the ones that they've told me in the past. Certainly. Okay, Sandy says thank you for all that you do. Thank you for watching, Sandy, and that goes for everyone who keeps watching and keeps coming back to my videos. Thank you. It really means a lot. We now have 3,300 subscribers and over 2 million views, which I'm absolutely amazed by. I didn't even think I'd get 10 views when I started, so that's really, really good. And it does say on something I read about YouTube that a channel can often take up to 2 years to establish. So I'm hoping that over the next 2 years we will continue to grow as a community together and become even stronger and get our message across about the strength and the positivity that the royal family can bring to the world, and also get more younger people involved in the royal family. Okay, Living the Good Life says it was touching to see Prince William and Prince Harry together. It always is. Oh, one update from last week. I did say that I was going to send some Christmas cards on behalf of the royal family, the royal reviewer family, to the Queen, and I actually did that today. I didn't have a physical card because I thought that time was pushing on, and as sometimes it can take quite a while to get a response, I wanted to get them off really quick. So I went on to a company that we have in this country. I don't know if you have it in yours. It's called moonpig.com, and you can create cards, personalized cards, and then this company sends them out a physical copy to wherever you want them to go. So I sent a card to the Queen and Prince Philip at Buckingham Palace. I sent one to Charles and Camilla at Clarence House, and I sent one to Catherine, William, George and Charlotte at their Kensington Palace address, apartment 1A, and I sent one to Nottingham Cottage, Kensington Palace, to go to Prince Harry. So all in all, I sent out 4 Christmas cards, all with personalised messages, all from the Royal Reviewer channel and myself, thanking the royal family for all the hard work they do and for the positive messages they send out to the nation and to the Commonwealth countries. And that's from behalf of this channel and all the viewers and myself. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully some point in the future seeing if I get a response. I attached my address to the card, so if they are going to reply or send a Christmas card back, they've got my address, and I'm really excited to see who will respond or which card I'll get, or if any, I'll get first. So I am really, really excited about that. It may be that the cards don't come in until after Christmas, but that's okay. I don't mind, as I just really want to see some correspondence from Clarence House, Buckingham Palace, Kensington Palace coming through my door. And of course, when I get them, I will share them with you guys. I may even make a video of myself opening them to share with you, or I could wait and save them to one of the updates, one of the live chats, and open it there and then. So I really am looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. Okay, Living the Good Life says, I also thought the idea of school children researching World War I and World War II veterans was a great idea. I completely agree. I think if you don't remember the past, then you can't really move forward in the future. And you forwarded it to your brother who's a teacher. And I would love for other countries to duplicate it. I did ask the question in one of the comments if you have something similar in America. and someone did answer with something. I think there was a version in America, but it wasn't quite the same. But I do think that having a day to remember the fallen warriors of your country, whether that be World War One or World War Two, or even current, or just any fallen soldiers that have laid down their life for your country, you should celebrate. Celebrate their lives and celebrate the risks and the freedom that you have because of how they fought. And of course, we have the cenotaph and lots of memorials in this country that we can lay poppies on, and the poppy is our national flower of remembrance, and we often wear them. So it is a really good point in the year to remember those who have sacrificed their lives. Okay, Loretta says, what is the talk in the UK about Trump becoming president in the US? Well, basically, I'm going to link this to the British royal family. I was kind of hoping this question might come up. So basically, Trump is president-elect. He will be president. And I think once he's formally met our Prime Minister, Theresa May, he will be invited to visit Buckingham Palace as part of a state visit. So Donald Trump, president-elect, will be meeting the Queen in the palace. He will have a formal state visit at some point. He will be in the Queen's carriage. He will be at one of the Queen's state banquets. He will be staying in Buckingham Palace. So the implications of a President Trump is that there will be eventually a full state visit, and probably a full state visit the other way, where the Queen may send one of our royals, whether it be Charles and Camilla, or William and Catherine, or even Harry, to visit the White House to meet President Trump there too. So we will have a state visit at some point in this country, and of course I will bring you all the pictures on that. Now, going back to the other point of your question, the talk in the UK, I think again it's divided. It's this sort of split opinion between some people that wanted him, some people that didn't, and some people a bit like me who perhaps would probably vote Hillary, but more, I suppose I'm more towards the left of the Democrats in America. But for people like me that thought that hoped Hillary might win, but really thought that Donald would get it. So I was right in my prediction that I made last week live on the chat, where I thought that that Trump would get it, and he did. He did. And I think I don't know if you know this, but in this country, the word Trump is actually a word for flatulence. So a lot of people are laughing at the fact that you now have a President Trump that's sort of trumping his flatulence in this country. So a lot of people refer to "I've done a Trump" when they flatulate, shall we say, to be polite. So a lot of people find that that's really funny, and I've heard a lot of giggling about that. But again, going back to a more serious point, I think people are really split. And when you saw Trump meeting Obama in the White House, you got a sense that he finally felt the enormity of what had happened. He looked like a little boy. His body language, his legs were open, very masculine, but his hands were together. They were very submissive. He looked really sheepish. It was almost like it had dawned on him of the enormity of what he'd done, and the fact that he'd now got to lead a country. And he was in the Oval Office, and he thought, oh my goodness, I've now got to actually deliver. And he looked so sheepish. He almost looked like he wished he hadn't won the election. I don't know if you thought that, but certainly from my perspective across the pond, looking in on it, making an objective view, he looked so forlorn. He just looked like it was all too much. And I think the fact that he's passed a lot of everything on to Mike Pence, and of course in this country, the Prime Minister would never be able to hire their own family in politics. I mean, that would be a complete conflict of interest. The fact that he's got so much business deals, and the fact it's just a complete conflict of interest. And in this country, that would never, ever be allowed. There was a big hoo-ha when our former Prime Minister, it was revealed that he had £15,000 worth of shares. That's about, I don't know, $22,000 worth. Now with Trump, you're talking billions. So it's just completely ludicrous that someone with that much conflict of interest. I mean, if he lowers taxes for business, he's going to benefit millions, maybe even hundreds of millions. That would just not be allowed in this country. So it kind of made me really respect and appreciate our own system. And of course, we don't have anything like electoral college votes. So in this country, the person that gets the most votes wins the election. And of course, the party wins the election. So it just seems ludicrous that, you know, Hillary got the most votes, but yet Trump is president. Anyway, it is what it is. And I think that America does have to pull together. They do have to show unity. You can't moan about democracy. If you live in a democracy and you respect democracy, you can't then moan about it when you don't win. Of course, democracy is that sometimes what you want happens, and sometimes it doesn't. So I think it's a case of just get on with it. I think he will be a lot more moderate than what he put out in the election. I think we've already seen that. And of course, Congress won't let him do anything completely ludicrous because they've all got to vote on it, haven't they? So we will see. Time will tell. And a lot can happen between now and when he's actually president. So please let me know what you think. Okay. Chelsea says that she hopes I get a letter from Charles and Camilla first. I really don't know who will respond first, but I will let you know as soon as it happens. Nancy says we just celebrated Veterans Day. Yes, it's Veterans Day that I was referring to. I couldn't remember the name of it. Maybe they could just expand Veterans Day. I don't know if you have a symbol like a flower that you wear or a coloured ribbon or something, but in this country we wear a poppy and we have lots of national commemorative events. So I don't know if they could just extend your Veterans Day to include those sorts of events. Chelsea's laughing at trumping. Yes. Remember that whenever you hear Donald Trump's name, think of a Trump as a F-A-R-T, because that's what it means in this country. A Trump is a F-A-R-T. I don't even want to say the word on my live chat, but basically that's what it means in the UK. It is rather funny. Caroline says Trump 2016 not funny. You have to live in America to get it. I can quite believe that for those of you who didn't vote Trump, that it isn't very funny. I can completely understand that. But I do think he will be a lot more moderate than what he was portraying when he was doing all his rallying. I don't think any of that stuff would get through Congress anyway. Okay. T Thief says, how long are you? How long am I? I don't think I've ever measured how long I am. Which bit of me are we measuring? Please specify. He says, okay, just trolling. Okay. Loretta says, thank you, Elliot. I think a lot of Americans will appreciate hearing your opinion. If people ask my opinion, I will give it, as always, openly and honestly. And I hope what I've said makes a little bit of sense. And I know that if you're in it, it's a lot different to looking at it from afar. But we do have to remember that, you know, what President Trump does can affect a lot of the world. If he affects China, that can also have a knock-on effect with the UK, for example. But I do think that he does believe in a special relationship between our country and America. So I think actually out of it, Britain will do quite well. I think he understands why we came out of the European Union. And I think Britain right now needs a friend. I think we do need a friend who can support us and stand shoulder to shoulder with us against the much mightier European Union compared to Britain. And I think if Trump can put Britain to the front of a new trade deal once we're out of the European Union officially, I think we can have a really good trading relationship and political relationship and all the rest of it. So I think in a way it's probably quite good for the UK-US special relationship, as long as Trump isn't too isolationist. We will see. Okay, Nancy says, one of the storylines in The Crown involves a relationship between the Queen and her horse trainer. Are you familiar with the story? Yes, it's one of those really old stories that sort of gets passed down almost a bit like Chinese whispers. Of course, we will never know if that's true. And of course, if you have a horse trainer and you're very interested in horses, you do have a close relationship with them. And of course, the Queen takes so much interest in her horses that you can imagine that she did have a close relationship, but I don't think it was ever anything more than between, in effect, employer and employee, or maybe even a close friend. So again, nothing confirmed on that. Anything said is just rumour, and I think we should just leave those old stories at that. But yes, I am familiar with the story. I think it's just a case of employer and employee. Living the Good Life says, everyone in America believes in a special relationship. I'm glad. I don't think Obama believed in it quite as much, but I think Trump will. We stand shoulder to shoulder on the most important topics. Well, I think freedom and democracy are some of those issues, and I think the European Union is stifling democracy and stifling being your own country. And I think America and Britain share those values, that we should be our own nations, and that we should work along with other countries, but we should rule ourselves. And I think Trump will believe in that, and hopefully he will stand shoulder to shoulder with our Prime Minister, Theresa May, when they meet sometime in January. President-elect Trump is the only hope this great country has, and that's from Caroline N. He's a hope. I mean, for some people, Hillary was a hope, and for some people, Trump was a hope. You've got Trump. Your system allowed Trump to be elected, and that's your democratic voice being heard and executed. This is democracy in action. And if people aren't very keen on what's happened, then maybe they should look at changing the system. Maybe that's an idea. I don't know. Loretta says, we believe we will be viewed as a joke around the world. Trump is a lame duck before his inauguration. I don't think you're a joke around the world. I think people are just in a little bit of misbelief that someone with absolutely no political experience whatsoever can run a country, can be the president of a country. It's almost unreal. And of course, like I said before, that someone with so much conflict of interest, and that you can just appoint your own family to be involved heavily in the politics, it's just completely unheard of over here. It's just madness. But I don't think they're a joke, and I think in time Trump may prove himself. So I think we just have to give him time. And I think in Britain we have a bit of a divided nation, with the people that wanted to remain in the European Union and those that wanted to exit. And your country has a bit of a divide now too. I mean, it was almost equal split in the popular votes, just like it was almost an equal split with the Brexit vote in this country. We both have divided nations, and we both need to all try and start to come together, and whichever was the losing side needs to accept that the winning side won and just get on with it, because that is democracy in action. And if you don't like democracy, then look at all the other countries that don't have democracy, and would you want to be like those countries? And if you don't, then that's a really good reason for accepting whatever the result was. So my point is, accept the democratic vote and get on with it. Okay, Chelsea says people need to keep calm and carry on. I agree when thinking about Trump. Yes, but of course, when you think about Trump, think about flatulence. I think that might get you through the next 4 years for those of you who didn't vote for Trump. Whenever you hear the name, I mean, we find it quite funny that he's got Trump emblazoned over his building in New York and over his aircraft. And we're thinking, you've just got the word FART emblazoned on your plane. That's really funny. That is just really funny. So think flatulence and it will get you through the next 4 years. And if you don't like him after 4 years, you can vote him out democratically. Do I have any other royal questions? Again, if you've just joined the channel, we're not just talking about the American election. This is a royal chat, and you can ask me any of your British royal family questions. Leave them in the chat box below. Okay. And I've just done a video where Prince Harry was pictured at the rugby, the England versus South Africa game that happened earlier on, and he was seated next to Princess Charlene of Monaco. So he didn't take Meghan Markle to the rugby. Some people may have thought he would, just literally to get it out there so that the media could have their photograph and then kind of stop pestering them. I think it may come to that. I think he may have to have an unofficial, photo released so that the media won't be there waiting to get the first picture. So it's quite interesting that she didn't go, but he was there on an official capacity, and it's not common to take a new girlfriend on an official engagement. So to have took her there would have been to breach normal protocol. But then again, releasing a statement to the media about a relationship was also a breach of protocol. So I think he's handling things in his own way, and maybe we'll see him handling the media attention in his own way again. So just because something hasn't happened before doesn't mean that it won't. I think Prince Harry, like I say, is really taking things in his own step. So we will see. I think we'll see a picture of them together fairly soon. So watch this space. Okay. Do I have any other questions? Oh, and Chelsea Thomas just laughed, probably at the Trump comments. Now, I have this every month, and I do sometimes make a video on it, but this is my Royal Life magazine, which I subscribe to. And this is available all over the world. You can have it in America and Canada. I think it costs a little bit more to have it there, but they will send this to you in the post. It's my favorite royal magazine, and I haven't opened it yet. I thought I would do a live opening of this month's Royal Life magazine. So you can see they send it in a kind of cellophane wrapper, and it's covering the Royal Tour of Canada. So I'm going to open it now and see what's inside. Okay. So here it is. So this is the front cover. I would recommend it. I'm not paid by them to promote this. This is just my honest opinion that this is the best royal magazine that I've seen. There are other more long-standing ones, but this, I like the way it's packaged. I like the fact it's glossy. I like the events that they cover, and it's just really good. And that's just my opinion. You might have a different opinion. That's my opinion. And on the back we see a lovely, it's when they did the balloons. So it's when they were in the garden of Government House in Canada, and they had the children's party, and a lovely picture, nice and big and blown up, of the interest in the balloons. So that's a good one. Again, I'm not going to sort of you know, read all of this to you. That would be impossible. And also, you know, if you want it, then you should go out and buy it. So we have a little bit about the Queen Mother Square, which is an event that I covered. More on the Royal Tour Canada. So they've covered all that. Hopefully you can see the magazine. I'm holding it so you can see it. So yes, it's got all the outfits, all the pictures. In fact, actually, this is very similar to a lot of the pictures that I posted in my videos. In fact, I recognize a lot of them very well. So it's quite nice to know that my coverage is almost the same as a magazine. Oh, so these are the sections I like as well. They have lots of royal things that you can buy and order. So there's lots of jigsaws here, royal related, one with corgis and one with the palace. So yes, they're quite, oh, one of royal babies, Kensington Gardens map. So you can, there's like an order section here where you can order them. More inside Government House. When the Duchess did her first solo engagement, where she saw the girl with the pearl earring photograph when she met the robot. So as you can see, it's a really comprehensive magazine, and it's really glossy, and I just really like it. So, you know, give it a go. When the Duke did the football, laying the reef. You can also order back issues, which I find very good. Okay, so again, more products you can buy. So there's like DVDs and all kinds of things that you can order that you might be interested in. Section, now this is a good section, Royal Life letters, and you actually get quite a lot from other countries, which is really good. So some letters about Princess Anne. This is how to subscribe. And they have got a Facebook page too. Camilla and Charles visiting Pottery Factory, Emma Bridgewater. Yeah, so as you can see, it's just a really lovely magazine to have, and one that you can collect. They always also have a section on a business that has a royal warrant. So in this case, it's what is it? What actually is it? It's bottles of something, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So there's a question. So the question to win one of these bottles, oh, it's aftershave. So this must be the warrant holder of, obviously one of the royal family actually uses it. So it looks like the sort of stuff that maybe the Duke of Edinburgh or Prince Charles would have. So it's aftershave. It's quite old-fashioned aftershave, which makes me think that it's the Duke or Prince Charles, probably more the Duke. And to win one of these bottles, you can enter the competition. One of the questions is, D.R. Harris produces an aftershave collection named after which famous royal palace? Buckingham, Balmoral, or Windsor? So you would submit your answer, and you could win one of those in the monthly competition. So more on Prince Harry. Again, all these stories I have pretty much covered on my channel. The Diana Award, the milestone for the Queen. Oh, a section about the exhibition of the Queen's dresses. So that's, I'll look forward to reading that. And that was the display they had this year on the summer opening of the palace. So I'll look forward to reading that. Oh, the Queen in a butcher's. I don't know if you can just about see that. That's quite good. Again, more things you can buy. Celebration box sets. Again, another story that I covered. Oh, that's lovely. Look, there's a royal teddy bear with a crown that you can buy. So again, if you're a collector of royal memorabilia, there's lots and lots and lots in here every month. Again, more royal DVDs. One on Diana, Princess of Wales, Queen Elizabeth, Yeah, she-wolves, royal wedding. So again, I'll just show you again. Lots and lots and lots of things to buy, which you can order through the magazine, and back issues. Okay, and a little bit on the back case, they always have what's in the next issue. So I'll close that now. That is something that I will enjoy over the coming weeks. So it's just a really nice magazine to have when you're having a coffee or a cup of tea if you're British. Yeah, so I highly recommend, my own personal choice, personal opinion, that magazine. Okay. Catching up on some of the comments, Caroline says, yes, that's what we have done. We have made a change and let's all give him a chance. I agree. After all, the vote for the election affects all of the UK and everyone in the world. It does to some extent or another. Chelsea says, what are my thoughts on the Queen? The one with Helen Mirren. Oh, the movie The Queen. My favourite part of the film is when the Queen is crying and then she sees a deer. I thought it was a really amazing portrayal. I think a lot of people who witnessed those events firsthand said how realistic they were. Of course, you never know what the actual dialogue was, so you never know all the scenes behind closed doors. You never know exactly if the Queen said these things or if the scene with the deer actually happened. But I think it was very sympathetic, and it really got across the message and the thoughts and the emotions of the time. So it was a really good film. I don't know if the Queen has actually seen it, but it was a really good portrayal of the Queen, and Helen Mirren is an amazing actress. So please let me know what you thought about the Royal Life magazine. Okay, Loretta says, I read Prince Charles got a duchy from Cornwall as a duke. Do the other royal dukes, like the Dukes of York, receive money from dukedoms? No. Basically, the Duchy of Cornwall is passed from the heir to the throne to the heir to the throne. It's completely inherited. It's so that there is some money to fund the operations of the heir to the throne. Now, what some people don't know is that Prince Charles could actually say, no, I'm not going to do any royal duties. I'm not going to do anything. All I'm going to do is have a private life, and I'm just going to live off all the money from the Duchy of Cornwall. Now, as it happens, Prince Charles has never done that. He's always worked and done a public role, and he uses the money that he gets from the duchy to fund all of the royal duties that he takes on behalf of the nation. So bearing in mind he doesn't legally have to do that, the fact that he does do it and spend basically his own money, his own private income from the duchy to help others and to perform royal duties on behalf of the nation. So that is quite a good thing for him to do, because of course there is no official role for the heir to the throne. The official role is just to be the heir to the throne and to wait until you are the monarch. The Duke of York doesn't have an income from being the Duke of York, and neither do the others, unless they inherited land and an estate. So if they have an estate or land, then they will get income from that, but not from a duchy like the Duchy of Cornwall or the Queen's Duchy of Lancaster, which is her private income to fund her family. So hopefully that answers your question. I mean, royal finances is always a bit tricky to try and explain. It's not like they receive a salary like the president receives a salary, or how a prime minister receives a salary, and then everything else is expenses. They have to use the money that they receive either from a duchy or any other sort of income. It used to be the civil list, but it's now the profits from the Crown estate, a certain percentage. They use that money to fund what they do on behalf of the nation, excluding protection and things like that. So it is really good how they spend the money, and I really doubt that politicians could do the same job for that little in cost. And of course, we know from expensive scandals in the UK that that politicians often really don't care about how much money they spend, whereas the royal family do, because it's pretty much their own money. Okay, do I have any other questions? We've had a really good chat tonight. I'm not sure how long I've been on, actually. So about an hour. So I've been on for about an hour, maybe a little bit more. I've shown you the magazine that I have. We spoke about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and what Prince William have been up to. So do I have any other comments about the royal family? Again, please let me know. And please let me know if you will be sending your own personal Christmas cards to any of the royal family. I'm hoping too that you can still all see me and hear me, and that the technology hasn't gone quite funny, as sometimes it does, but it's a lot better with the new camera. So I'm really happy with the new camera. Okay, Crest Keatman says, what do I collect on the British monarchy? I collect lots of things. I've got lots of commemorative china. I've got some commemorative glassware. Oh, there is something I could show you for next week. I have got, and I don't normally collect this, but when it came out, I thought that it was, potentially even a good investment to have. When the royal wedding happened between Catherine and William, there was some sort of official commemorative dolls made. So there was a doll of Catherine in her engagement dress, and a pair of dolls in the same box of William and Catherine in their wedding outfits. And I have both of them, and I don't think they're available anymore. And they had issue numbers, and I have got those royal dolls. So if you'd like me to show you them next week, I could bring them down and show you those. I also collect lots of royal books. I've got an entire, almost like a library full of royal books, and I've got some old ones as well. So when I said that some relatives had died who were really into the royal family, I had a lot of their collection of books as well. So I've got a huge collection of books. I collect royal bookmarks. In fact, I collect leather bookmarks in general. So I particularly collect leather royal bookmarks. I've got quite a few of those. What I might do one day is put them in a frame or something. So I could show you some royal bookmarks. I could show you some royal china. I have a limited edition art Buckingham Palace in plaster, which is quite unusual. So I have that. People often give me things. So yeah, I have lots of really different stuff. Nothing in particular, but lots of different things. What do you collect on the royal family? Let me know. Okay, Loretta says, I read in a book, taxpayers don't pay for the royals. Is that true? I think it works out that every person in the UK pays about 60 pence, which is probably about, I don't know, 60 pence is probably about 80 cents, something like that per person. And of course, there's only sort of, 60 odd million in this country anyway, so it works out that they don't actually cost that much. Again, a lot of the personal income, so the Duchy of Lancaster, Duchy of Cornwall, pays for those family units' personal expenditure, and the profits on the Crown estate go towards the rest. And of course, the Queen has her own personal investments and things. So the taxpayers do contribute a little bit. It sort of works out at that, but it's not a direct, you sort of take money off people to fund the monarchy. And of course, it is really good value for money, because, as I said, if you didn't have someone performing those duties that the royals do, you'd have to have someone else to do it, and the palaces would still have to be upkeep. There'd be upkeep on them anyway. So, and politicians wouldn't do the job half as well. They would spend far too much money doing it, and it wouldn't have the same gravitas, and it just wouldn't feel special having a politician give you a medal as it would a member of the royal family. So I believe that it's completely value for money. There are those that want the UK to become a republic. I disagree with that, but of course those people are entitled to their opinion. Going back to democracy, we live in a democracy, and if more people in this country thought that they wanted a republic, then there would probably be a vote on it. But as it happens, most people respect the monarchy and respect the fact that we have a really good system, and it's to be treasured and kept and held on to, and that it's really special. Okay, Caroline says, Elliot, get back to me what I sent to you if you can. If that's the message you sent a few days ago, Caroline, yes, of course I will. Of course I'll get back to you. Loretta says, would love to see your collections, please share. Well, next week, if I show you the wedding dolls that I've got, if you'd like to see those, I will show you. And please let me know what else you collect as well. Okay, so if you've just joined the channel, we have lots of discussions about the royal family. I receive questions from viewers and from the chat box. So if you have a question to put to me about the royal family, put it to me and I will answer it as soon as I get to it. Okay, Loretta says, why do the UK perform duty? Why are the royals playing, as Prince Charles says, playing monkeys? Okay, so the royal family in the UK perform duties. Only the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh have official roles in the UK. All the rest of the family support the monarchy. So they don't have an official outlined role. They do it to support. And it's basically, I mean, in a way, it justifies the life and privilege that they have. But also, it does support the monarch as the sort of head of state. And it sort of deputizes some responsibilities, and it covers, it enables the monarchy to cover and touch a lot more base with more people performing duties. So simply, they don't have to, but they do to help and support, and because they like working for the country, basically. Prince Charles has said that they are kind of monkeys. Probably he's referring to like monkeys in a zoo, where you can kind of, look in at them, and that they're always on show. Perhaps that's what he means. And of course, we have to remember they aren't celebrities; they're public figures, and there is a difference between celebrity and public figure. A celebrity chooses a career, and they're sort of free to make lots of money, and the royal family are there just because they're there. They haven't chosen the life; they were born into it. But yet they are involved in public life. So they're very much public figures, not celebrities. And I think in this country, that's how we view them. Probably in other parts of the world, they're celebrities, but in this country, public figure, not celebrity. J-Lo is a celebrity. Madonna is a celebrity. You know, Prince Charles is a public figure. That's the difference. Okay, Caroline says, thanks, Elliot. I appreciate your reply. Thank you. I mean, I hope I always, I try and answer all of your comments and questions openly and honestly and as frankly as I can. But sometimes there isn't really an answer. Sometimes the answer is that it just is. You know, things are because they just always have been, or you know, an answer could be that we simply don't know because nothing's been released or nothing's been confirmed. And sometimes that is the answer that I can only give. Okay, Ray Lee says, I heard that the Blood Princesses have had protection since birth. It was on a show on Netflix. Do you know? They had close protection from birth. Round about, I think it was 2012, it was stopped. So the round-the-clock personal protection was cut as a cost-saving measure because they weren't performing official duties on behalf of the Queen. However, when they do perform any duties, any public duties, they have that protection back for the duration of that duty. And of course, that caused a lot of anger and upset with Prince Andrew, who thought that the only blood princesses of the United Kingdom should have the protection that, you know, that Prince William and Prince Harry have. Of course, I spoke about that in my previous videos. So it's a good question. Whether they'll get it back or not, I don't know. I think they might if they start performing full-time royal duties, which is obviously what Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson want. Okay, Loretta says, why are the patrons of so many charities? Why are they the patrons of so many charities? Why are they out shaking hands? I'm trying to understand the system. Basically, there is no system. Again, this is one of those questions where I've just got to say it is because it is, and it always has been. So because they're a public figure rather than a celebrity, they are invited by a lot of charities to become the patron. So they can use their public profile, not celebrity profile, to raise the profile of these charities, raise money for good causes, and particularly draw attention to issues that didn't really have much public attention. And of course, Diana was brilliant at doing that. You know, she raised the profile of landmines, she raised the profile of AIDS, she raised the profile of leprosy. So a royal patron can do wonders for a charity. So that's why they're invited to do it. And of course, they do it because they want to be seen to be doing good work that helps other people less fortunate than what they've got and who they are. They shake hands and do walkabouts because it shows a connection with the people that they meet, and it shows that they're not too far removed from the public. And of course, that was something that George V, I think it was, felt very strongly about. He felt that the monarchy was becoming very aloof, and he wanted to establish more of a connection. So he started doing, he started going out into the country and meeting, you know, real people. And then, of course, the royal walkabout was introduced, and that was purely an accident. I mean, it just happened. They just sort of went out and met the crowd, and it became really popular, and people wanted more and more of the royal walkabouts and the sort of shaking of hands. And of course, the Queen always wears gloves when she does all this shaking of hands. So Loretta, the answer is what I've just said, but basically there is no system. It's very organic. It just happens because it happens. And hopefully that's an acceptable answer to you. I've had lots of smiley faces from Caroline, so smiley face back to you. Do I have any other questions before I call it a night? We've had a really good chat session. I've got some good ideas on what to do next week. I don't think I'll probably receive a Christmas card reply from any of the palaces yet, but I'll obviously keep you updated on that. We have lots of videos coming up next week. We have the Remembrance Sunday video coming up tomorrow. There's a video which I may, because it's quite late now, it's 11:30 in the evening, so I may make another video on the Queen and other members of the family tonight, perhaps. So anyway, there's lots coming up, lots to see, lots to do, and of course I will be here next week live at 10 o'clock as always, to answer your questions. So I hope you've enjoyed the chat, and if you've liked the video, please comment and share on social media. This video will be posted on the normal channel, so if you've missed any of it, or you want to go back and check an answer, or just watch it again, or whatever, you can go back and you can see it. Caroline says, have a nice weekend. You too, make sure you have a really good time of what's left. And Loretta says thanks. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. It's been a really lovely chat. And as always, I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy talking to the wider community. So thank you very much, and until next time, goodbye from me in Shropshire.